you see colors that are all completely natural, like there's no treatment in that kind of beauty, that's very special.
It's phenomenal. Hey guys, welcome back to another unboxing. Rebecca here, and we have a special guest, Casey. She is a show host at JTV. She's also a gem enthusiast. We're gonna check out some gems from the President's Collection. This collection of gemstones is curated by our president and CEO. Each piece is really unique. Every single gemstone that we're looking at in this episode has been completely untreated. Nothing that alters its color or its durability or the inclusions inside. The only thing that has been done is faceting.
Yes, that's right.
All right, this is our first box. As our guest, you can read the clue and open it.
Ooh, how exciting. Okay, our clue for this box is fancy colors from the real treasure island. Ooh, do you have any ideas?
I have some thoughts.
Oh.
Okay, so let's start with Treasure Island.
Yes, as soon as we heard that, immediately I thought, oh, it has to be Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka, just gemologically speaking, is very old. So the rocks that you will find there are of what we call Precambrian age.
It is so geologically rich, and it's estimated that as much as 25% of the island is gem-bearing, which is a very significant percentage. And these all represented here are sapphires.
When it comes to some of the world's most renowned sapphires, 17 out of 20 of the world's largest sapphires come from Sri Lanka. So it is really sapphire land. Sri Lanka knows what's up when it comes to sapphires.
As many of you know, sapphire or corundum is aluminum oxide, and the coloring agent dictates what type of corundum it is. Most of these colors are in the pinkish, purplish range.
Yeah. You know, one of the cool things about sapphire is that when you see something like this, you see that there's slight differences. You see colors of purple and pink that maybe you've never even seen before.
The pinks are colored by chromium, but when you get into the purples, it's colored by vanadium. All of these are for sale, and of course, as always, we'll put the links in the description. This one is actually a relatively affordable collection of 5 gemstones.
Let's go ahead and talk about the star sapphire because this is really one of my favorites. You will literally see a star inside of the gemstone just based upon how the inclusions have organized themselves. The star will orient itself based off of where the light is coming from. It almost makes it feel alive, which is really cool.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of character to it. This star is super,
there it is.
super
cool.
sharp. No treatment caused that. All of those inclusions lined up perfectly naturally.
A lot of the time you'll see star sapphires that will be a little bit more heavily included. They won't have as much translucency. So very cool to see so much translucency in this particular one.
I love that one. That one's super special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The next one, it's one of the more famous varieties of sapphire, and that's Padparadscha.
I think what really separates this particular color of sapphire from others is that you will see orange sapphires, you will see pink sapphire, but to have that perfect mixture in this, it almost gives it like these sunset colors. It really is so beautiful.
Yes, and we should note that there are competing opinions about Padparadscha sapphire in terms of what constitutes a Padparadscha versus a pink or an orange. And of course, everyone has different preferences on what types of Padparadscha they like. A lot of people think that the designation Padparadscha should only be reserved for Sri Lankan gems, and that a little bit comes from its history and its naming.
The name Padparadscha comes from the Sanskrit name, which means lotus blossom, and it's kind of that mixture between orange and pink, like the petals on a lotus blossom. That's where it got its name. And so the color really is captivating. It's very special, and I love that every single one's unique.
Let's talk about this set of sapphires because this is one of the nicest, most valuable collections in the President's Collection, and in fact, in our gemstone collection, and for a few different reasons. So this is a suite of 26 untreated sapphires. Being a suite means that there are certain characteristics that they all need to possess. So in this case, the suite is of matched color, matched size, and matched cut and shape.
Really lovely color. It is very saturated. And owning any sapphire, especially Sri Lankan sapphire of a specialty color like this, you know, that's a big deal. But to have a matched graded suite, not of 2 gems, not of 3, but of, was it 26?
26.
26 perfectly matched gems. That is a really big deal.
It's super special. There's a gem report associated with this. There's also a picture of the gemstones in particular formation, which I candidly have been looking at these for years and just think that if I could have those earrings, that would be phenomenal. That would be the envy of anybody's gemstone collection. So here you have a set of 5 that's hundreds of dollars. Here you have 5-figure gems, but they're all untreated. They're all from the same locality, Sri Lanka. They're all beautiful. And so there really is something for everybody in this collection, which is, you know, the whole genesis of how it got started. But I think there's even more. All right, box number 2.
Let's go.
You can have the clue.
Ooh, the clue, okay. Our clue is natural marvels from the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro. Ooh, got an idea. Where green valleys meet golden sunsets. I like this. Oh, yep.
So, as the clue said, all of these are found around the base of Mount Kilimanjaro. If you don't know, Mount Kilimanjaro is in Africa, it's in East Africa. So these gemstones are from the Tanzania and Kenya regions. Where do you want to start?
Let's start here because this is such an interesting gemstone. Ida craze. I love green gemstones. This particular color, it has just a touch of gold or a touch of yellow to it.
The shape is beautiful. That kind of elongated cushion. You might also hear this stone referred to as Vesuvianite, as in Mount Vesuvius.
It will remind you of peridot because it's colored by the same coloring agent as peridot. It's colored by iron as well, so that's why it will have a very similar kind of look. Generally, you will not find this particular gemstone as faceted material.
You will see it in more of the mineral form. You don't see this beautiful transparent gemstone quite as often, so that makes it really, really special.
Definitely. Kenya, Tanzania is one of the most just beautiful places.
We've talked about the intense geological conditions of heat and pressure that the area has been exposed to, but essentially what happened is the ground turned to a Play-Doh-like consistency. And so what you had was folding, and then hydrothermal fluids came and seeped into some of those folds, and you had chromophores or coloring agents like vanadium, like iron, like chromium that allowed for these different colors. So another green, but very different type of green gemstone is this next one, which is Tsavorite. One of my favorite gemstones. We've had Bruce Bridges on the channel before. His dad is the one who actually discovered Tsavorite, and his story is really incredible.
I love Tsavorite. One of the things that I love about it is that it is part of the cubic crystal structure, so you will tend to get very consistent color throughout the gemstone. What is that, 5.9 carats? Wow.
Yeah, almost 6 carats. The clarity, the color is top notch. This gem is actually laser inscribed with the Campbell Bridges signature and then 116. For a while, each of the stones in the Campbell Bridges collection had the Campbell Bridges signature and then a number signifying where it was in the collection. And again, this color is superb. The green is like, when you think of perfect, like Crayola green, that's it.
Oh yeah, this is a color that can rival an emerald. Except the cool thing about Tsavorite is you get even more brilliance and you get even more dispersion.
This is another gemstone that's colored by vanadium, which is really special because, again, vanadium is a pretty rare coloring agent. So there's just a lot going on in this gemstone.
This one's really fun.
It is a sibling, I guess you could say, maybe a cousin to the more popular tanzanite. So this is a zoisite, which is the species, and you will often hear of the variety tanzanite, which is that beautiful purplish lilac gemstone. Most tanzanite on the market is treated from this kind of brownish color, but what you have here is a color that is golden brown that people saw and thought, yeah, I don't think I want to touch that. I don't want to make that into a tanzanite. I personally have a golden zoisite. I think they are so stunning as they are, and of course, zoisite is a trichroic gemstone, so you are also going to see 3 distinct colors here like you do with tanzanite. Even if you just look at it from different viewing directions, you will see slight changes in color. I see a little bit of golden, I actually see a little bit of bluish purple in there.
Ooh, how interesting.
Like from this angle, I see lilac.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I can totally see it.
I personally love that gemstone. All right, so our last gem of this box, spessartite garnet, or you may have heard it spessartine. It's just a slight change in the naming convention.
Such a beautiful gem. A lot of the time you'll see it range from more of this like yellowish, orangish, maybe a little touch of brown every so often, but this particular one has a little bit more of that red color, very clean gemstone. Sometimes you will find it more heavily included. So very fine quality on this one.
Yes, one thing that makes it interesting is it is one of the few idiochromatic gemstones in the garnet species. So it's a manganese aluminum silicate, and the manganese is what gives it its beautiful color. So again, like the last box, you have a lot of different price points here. So you have gems here that are in the few hundreds of dollars, and then you have gems here that are tens of thousands of dollars. There's something for everyone. I think we're ready for the next box.
Let's hit the next box, why not?
All right, box number 3.
Number 3. From a remote river valley west of the Himalayas comes a shade of blue you have to see to believe.
We're going north. Oh, I love this. One of my other favorite gemstones is Tourmaline.
Yes.
The trash can of gemstones, as they've affectionately called it. But it's because you have such interesting combinations of elements, and you can basically have any color. And one color is this greenish, mostly blue gemstone that I love this color so much.
I love you getting hype over here.
It's a matched pair too.
Yes.
And so it would make amazing earrings, rather large cufflinks for your man. It's just so pretty. Locality, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, yes, very rugged area of the world.
The exact locality of this indicolite is unknown. We do know that it comes from the Hindu Kush region, so that's in Afghanistan. To the west of that is the Panjshir Valley. It is rich in a lot of gemological materials. There are famous gemstones that come from the Panjshir Valley, such as Panjshir emeralds. We really don't know how many gems are there. Access is quite limited. Somewhere in that region is what we're looking at here.
You know, these aren't places a lot of the time where you can just take the highway with a big truck and then go in there with big machinery and do all of this mining. Specifically in this particular region, there is very little access, which is why when we see gemstones that potentially come from this area, it is that much more impressive.
That color is au naturel, like all the other gems, and it gets that beautiful blue, greenish blue color by iron. Okay, box number 4.
Okay. Near the ocean breeze of the west coast comes a colorful mineral that can also power your phone. Ooh.
Oh, a homegrown one.
Oh.
So of course, the west coast that we're talking about is the west coast of the United States. So all of these gems are from the United States. The one in the middle has an undeniably familiar color. This is Kunzite, which is a variety of spodumene. It's from a really famous mine, the Pallasitic mine in California. Kunzite can be anywhere from like a really nice, pretty pink to a more vibrant lilac purple. This to me is right in between.
Oh yeah, perfect color. And Kunzite is such a cool gemstone because first off, it was discovered in the early 1900s, around 1902, making it the very first really important gemstone discovery of the 20th century. This is the namesake gemstone for probably the most famous gemologist of all time, George Frederick Kunz. You will find it treated in some cases, maybe sometimes irradiated. This particular one, completely natural and untreated.
And to the clue, it has lithium in it.
Yeah.
So lithium is part of spodumene or Kunzite's chemical composition. Lithium can power your phone. And Kunzite, we should mention, possesses perfect cleavage. There are durability issues about it that make it really difficult to facet. To have it in this size and faceted so well is also a remarkable feat for the lapidary. The way that it is found in this mine is it really is embedded deep in this clay rock, And what's required is very careful chipping away to get this gemstone out, which takes time and delicacy. Definitely a very special type of spodumene. Let's talk about this variety of spodumene.
Okay, speaking of a generous gemstone,
Yeah.
this is a whopping 88.4 carats. It's a gemstone called tryphane. Sometimes you will find it in more of a colorless variety, very similar to this. Sometimes you'll see it more with a little bit more yellow color to it.
And you can find tryphane or this kind of colorless spodumene in the polychief mine like Kunzite. This next gemstone, to be honest, I don't even know how it's still in our collection.
Yeah.
And hopefully one of you guys buy it up because one of us might. So this is an Oregon sunstone. It's mined in Oregon. Oregon is famous for these types of sunstones, which is a type of feldspar. And it's famous because you have an optical phenomenon that is caused by copper inclusions. Some people call it Schiller, some people call it eventurescence. Essentially, you have this shimmer effect. Often, Oregon sunstone is going to be this warm, beautiful orangish color, but you can also see it in a greenish color. A really beautiful gemstone, but let's talk about who cut it.
Yeah, so faceted by a very famous lapidary, Daryl Alexander.
Daryl Alexander is one of the foremost lapidaries in the business. He's very well known, very well respected. The fact that somebody who has won multiple gem awards cut this gemstone, like that makes it special enough. But again, you have a beautiful cut. You have a beautiful color. It's from the United States, which is always fun. Other sunstones found elsewhere in the world are commonly included with goethite and hematite. They're not quite as clean and brilliant as Oregon sunstone.
The fact that you can get this home for, I think it was like $99 or something, that is a really big deal.
We'll definitely put the link in the description below because for sure check that out. I cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah, somebody's got to scoop that up.
It's such a phenomenal deal. I don't know how it's still sitting here. All right, last box.
Last box, here we go. It says, you won't find this stone's origin on a map. Ooh. Oh, this is cool.
He's a tiny little guy.
This is actually really big for what it is. This is actually one of my very favorite gemstones to get to talk about, peridot. But this is not just any peridot. This is what we call Pallasitic Peridot, which means that it's peridot that comes from outer space. I do have an outer space joke.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, how do you get clean in outer space?
You take a meteor shower.
You're welcome. Okay, so from about the roughly 70,000 meteorites that have been found here on planet Earth, only around 158 of them are pallasites. Something like Pallasitic Peridot is as old as the solar system, and the fact that out of all the different scenarios of meteorites crashing to Earth, one came here that was big enough to have a facet grade Pallasitic Peridot, that takes this to the nth degree of rarity, to the nth degree of important, of special. So very cool that we have this here today.
Yeah, the crazy part about that is peridot is not the most durable gemstone.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it maintained its character throughout a journey to Earth, through the atmosphere, through all of that, and also beyond that, the beautiful color, the clarity is very remarkable. This is about 0.28 carats. Anything above 0.20 is actually pretty large.
It's mind-blowing to me that this is not a 6-figure price tag, a 4-figure price tag. This is a 3-figure price tag, an extremely reasonable value for what I think that is, because what are the chances of this happening again?
All right, Casey, so as a newbie to the channel, we have to inform you of what we do at the end of every episode. We always take a closer look. So each of us has to pick our gem for a closer look.
Okay.
And you can go first as the guest.
Okay, it is so hard to pick because there are so many goodies, but I'm gonna go with the Kunzite for my closer look. The fact that this one is natural and untreated, and it's such a big gemstone. Let's be honest, you can't get enough of this.
I love it. I am gonna cheat. I don't have to follow the rules. I'm actually gonna pick two because I think it's important to show why this collection is so important. We have something for everyone, and so I'm gonna pick the Sunstone and the suite of 26 sapphires because here you have represented what makes this collection unique. You have an amazing gemstone that's maybe $100 and it's cut by a famous lapidary. It has a beautiful color. Then you have a suite of 26 untreated sapphires from Sri Lanka that is a super valuable set of gemstones. So take a closer look. All right, Casey, thanks so much for joining us on the episode.
This has been so much fun. I want to come hang out again. Such a cool episode to be a part of.
Yes, very special collection. Of course, as always, we'll leave links in the description so you can check those out. All of these items are for sale, so let us know if you buy any because we love sharing the gem love with you. Let us know in the comments which one is your favorite. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Thanks for watching.